Ravensburger just unveiled Disney Lorcana's 6th set, officially titled Azurite Sea. This set is very pirate themed, but also has some characters from other properties that fans have been asking for a while now. Before we get into it, I want to remind everyone to please like this video and subscribe to the Sorcerer's Hat for more Disney Lorcana content. I post brand new videos every Friday. Alright, let's get into it. So yes, Set 6 is officially titled Azurite Sea. The characters of Lorcana have taken to the high seas in this lore trailer, which also shows that the water has become a maze of sorts, which honestly is a really cool idea. Before we get into the card reveals, I want to go over some of the other stuff they talked about during the stream. First off, during the trailer, we got a good sense of what characters and IP are making their way into the game for the first time, and some of which are finally getting some more support. The biggest one is Big Hero 6, which is finally seeing its debut in Lorcana. Big Hero 6 is a movie lots of fans have been asking for a while now, so it's cool to finally see it coming to the game. We also saw the Rescue Rangers, which were previously announced at D23, and a few of their cards were also revealed during the stream, but we'll get into that in a minute. Winnie the Pooh and friends are seen in the trailer as well, and we did get a peek at a ticker card that we'll also talk about in a moment. And of course, my boy, Jim Hawkins of Treasure Planet, making his return on maybe the wordiest card in the game, but we'll also get to that. Alright, so that's it for the trailer. What else did they show? Well, we've got some news about the upcoming gift set, which is completely Stitch themed this time around. It comes with one promo card from the set, a Stitch themed binder, and 4 Azurite Sea booster packs. We also got a look at the starter decks, which are Amber Ruby themed and surprisingly Emerald and Sapphire. There should be an interesting collection of cards in that one, since it's sort of a brand new ink combination that only really became a thing this set. For you playmat collectors, we're getting 2 new playmats of set 5 cards, including Elsa the 5th Spirit and Donald Duck Buccaneer. They briefly mentioned the Disney Lorcana quest events, but they still didn't elaborate on what exactly they are. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see for that one. They mentioned everything from just casual play to cosplay to just literally hanging out. They didn't mention if there'd be promos or anything during them, just that they're going to occur at some point. So, we'll see when that time comes. Alrighty, now it's time to get into the actual card reveals. First up is Baymax, Personal Healthcare Companion. He's an inkable 3-cost Sapphire character with 0 strength, 4 willpower, and he quests for 2. He has 2 abilities. The first one, fully charged. If you have an inventor character in play, you pay 1 ink less to play this character, and his second ability, You Said Ow, pay 2 ink, remove up to 1 damage from another chosen character. It's cool to see the new keyword robot, along with giving the inventor subtype some more synergy. This feels like a card that would go well in the Grand Pobby deck that everyone has wanted to see come to fruition for a long time. I don't think this makes it a viable archetype yet, but it certainly helps. However, I don't think that this will see any meta play for the time being, unfortunately. Alright, next up is Hiro Hamada, Robotics Prodigy. He's an inkable 3-cost character with 0 strength, 3 willpower, and he quests for 1. He has 1 ability, Sweet Tech. Exert this character and pay 2 ink, search your deck for an item card or a robot character card and reveal it to all players. Shuffle your deck and put that card on top of it. At first glance, I thought this card looked pretty good, but the more I thought about it, I'm less convinced. You're paying quite a bit of ink to even get the item you want, and it doesn't even go into your hand, just to the top of your deck. And while yes, that could synergize well with cards that wanted to know what's on the top of the deck or could play things off the top of the deck, it's too slow for item decks, which means I don't think this will really see any play, but hey, I could be wrong. Next is a card I think will see some play. This is Honey Lemon, Chemical Genius. She is an inkable 2-cost Emerald character card with 1 strength, 1 willpower. She quests for 2 lore, and her ability is Here's the Best Part. When you play this character, you may pay 2 ink to have each opponent choose and discard a card. This card goes so well with Prince John, especially because you can play this and pay its kicker cost the turn after you play Prince John, and you'll be drawing yourself a card and making your opponent discard. It quests for 2, which is always nice. Yes, her stats are fairly low, but I still think this is a card that will probably see a bit of play in Emerald decks, especially discard-focused decks. All in all, I like this card a lot. Next is another really good Emerald card. This is Fred, Mascot by Day. He is an inkable 1-cost Emerald character card with 1 strength, 1 willpower, and he quests for 1. He has 1 ability. How cool is that? Whenever this character is challenged, gain 2 lore. I think this card is actually really good. It's a good alternative to Cursed Merfolk in a deck that's not discard themed. While yes, it doesn't quest for as much lore, I think the chances of your opponent just attacking it and giving you the 2 lore is actually fairly high. We'll need to see when the set comes out, but yeah, I think this is a really good card and a really good 1-drop in draft. Alright, this is Wasabi, Methodical Engineer. He is an inkable 4-cost Sapphire character card with 3 strength and 3 willpower, and he quests for 1. He has 2 abilities. First one is Blades of Fury. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item. Its player gains 1 lore. And his second ability is Quick Reflexes. During your turn, this character gains Evasive. This is a pretty okay card. I don't think it'll see much meta play. It feels very similar to a card like Judy Hopps, but maybe not as good. Time will tell, but my first impression is that this doesn't really see play. However, in draft, it's a decent answer to your opponent's evasive characters, so maybe there I could see playing it, but in constructed, probably not. Next is our first legendary, and it's Baymax, Armored Companion. He is an inkable 5-cost Sapphire character card with 2 strength, 6 willpower, and he quests for 2. He has 1 ability, the treatment is working. When you play this character and whenever he quests, you may remove up to 2 damage from another chosen character of yours. Gain 1 lore for each 1 damage. Remove this way. This is yet another candidate for the Grand Pobby deck, but I still don't think this pushes it over the edge into a viable archetype just yet. It's also a bit understated for what it is. It might eventually be a good card in that specific deck, but otherwise I don't really see it being played outside of draft. However, I do think that this card will 100% be one of the enchanted cards from the set, because why wouldn't it? Next is our first Rescue Rangers card, and it's Chip, Ranger Leader. He's an inkable 4-cost Amber character card with 3 strength, 4 willpower, and he quests for 2. He has 1 ability, the Value of Friendship. While you have a character named Dale in play, this character gains support. In draft, this is a good card, but that's about where it stops for me. Obviously, if you run Dale, it gets a lot better since you can support for 3, but are you really going to play this in your 4-drop slot above things like Rapunzel Gifted with Healing and Naveen Ukulele Player? I think not, so next. This is Dale, Mischievous Ranger. He's an inkable 4-cost Amber character card with 3 strength, 4 willpower, and he quests for 1. And he has 1 ability, Nuts About Pranks. When you play this character, you may put the top 3 cards of your deck into your discard to give chosen character -3 strength until the start of your next turn. On the surface, he's not an amazing card. However, I do actually think he could be pretty good in an Amber Ruby Mufasa deck, solely for the purpose of helping you to play your Chernabog even faster. Being able to debuff an opponent right before challenging can also be pretty good. I don't think you play this character in any deck other than something like that, so my instinct is to say this isn't a great card, except in very specific circumstances. And even then, I'm not 100% sold on it, but I do think there's a lot of potential here. I could be very wrong about this, but I feel like it warrants some testing. Next is Gadget, Hack Wrench, Brilliant Bosun. She's an inkable 6-cost Sapphire character card with 3 strength, 6 willpower, and she quests for 3 lore. She has Shift 4 and 1 ability, Mechanically Savvy. While you have 3 or more items in play, you pay 1 ink less to play Inventor characters. If Inventors, robots, and items ever become a thing together, I think this card can be pretty good. Her stat line isn't bad, and questing for 3 is also nice. She can also shift, which means we're going to get a target for her to shift onto at some point. My gut says that this card won't see any meaningful play, but it could see some niche play down the road if those archetypes get more support. I'd play it in draft as a bomb for sure, but I'm skeptical of its value in constructed at the moment. All right, our first action, this is Rescue Rangers Away. It is an inkable 2-cost amber action that says, count the number of characters you have in play. Chosen character loses strength equal to that number until the start of your next turn. This is like a Strength of a Raging Fire, but ironically for strength instead. I think this could be okay or even good in the right, very niche circumstances, but I wouldn't just pop this into any deck willy-nilly. You need the right follow-ups to take advantage of this, and even then, it might be too slow to be worth it. I would probably play this in draft just to help secure a decent trade that could help swing a game, but in constructed, this will probably not pop up all that often, if at all, honestly. Next is our first location. This is Galactic Council Chamber Courtroom. It is an inkable 3-cost steel location with a move cost of 1, and it has 7 willpower. It has 1 passive lore and 1 ability, Federation Decree. While you have an alien or robot character here, this location can't be challenged. Again, focusing on robots and for the first time really aliens. We've had alien cards in the past, but it's not a super supported archetype. This could be pretty good in that type of deck in the far future. I might also play it in draft since it's not that expensive and 7 health is pretty good. And there seem to be, so far at least, a lot of robots and aliens in this set already. So yeah, I think this could potentially be very, very good in draft. In constructed though, I don't think this sees any play whatsoever. Okay, next is a card I actually like a lot. This is Hot Potato. It is an inkable 3-cost steel action card that reads, choose 1. Deal 2 damage to chosen character, or banish chosen item. Yes, it's weaker than Smash, but the fact that you are given a choice means you can cut other cards in your deck like Simba, Son of Mufasa, and put something else in that slot instead if you're not so worried about having a character like that on turn 6. I personally love cards with choices and multiple utility because it feels like it takes multiple things you might want to run in a deck and puts it all into one slot, meaning you have a lot more freedom to put other things you might not have been able to fit before in that deck. So yeah, I think this could actually see some play in some decks, even if it's only as a 1 or 2 of. It just has all that nice utility and it's inkable, so if you don't end up needing it, you know, it's just some free ink. Next is one of the poster childs of the set, and that's Stitch, Alien Buccaneer. It is an uninkable 4-cost emerald character with 3 strength, 4 willpower, and he quests for 2. He has Shift 3 and 1 ability, which reads, ready for action. When you play this character, if you used Shift to play him, you may put an action card from your discard on the top of your deck. I love the art and the flavor of this card, but that's about it. Yes, there are times when getting an action or a song back from the discard pile is really beneficial, but the fact that you have to shift this and it's uninkable just really hurts. And currently all of the low-cost shift targets for this are in Amber, which means unless something changes, this is only really going in Emerald Amber decks, which aren't really running Stitch anyway. I don't know, but if I was a betting man, I'd say this card finds absolutely no place in the meta. In draft, it's okay because of its stats, but unless there's a lower cost Stitch being released in the set, it might as well be a vanilla. Next is our first item of the set. This is Mad Hatter's Teapot. It is an inkable 2-cost amethyst item that reads, no room, no room. Exert and pay 1 ink. Each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their discard. This is some really solid support for mill-style decks, which are generally in Amethyst Steel. These decks do currently exist in Lorcana, but they aren't as strong as they are in other games like Magic. They're more like B-tier fun decks. This is also an excellent counter to decks that want to know or get some benefit from knowing what the top card of their deck is, so you're able to disrupt their plans pretty cheaply. This doesn't go in every deck, of course, but I do think that it will be a very essential piece in decks that do run it, like Mill. When that is, though, who knows, but either way, keep an eye on this one for sure, because it could end up being a very essential card in some very interesting decks. Next is Sisu in her element. You get it? She is an inkable 5-cost amethyst character card with 3 strength, 6 willpower, and she quests for 2. She has 1 ability, Challenger 2, so a French vanilla card. This isn't very exciting, but it is a decent card. In draft, I actually think this is a very good card, but other than that, you wouldn't want to shift onto this. and it's a lot of ink for not a lot of effect. So yeah, great draft card, but it's not going to see any constructed play. It's just not. This is Kakamora Boarding Party. It is an uninkable 4-cost ruby character card with 5 strength, 2 willpower, and a quest for 1 lore. Another French vanilla. It just has rush. This is a pretty good draft card, actually. It has okay stats. It's probably going to be banished the turn you play it, though, so it's not going to stick around like Maui would. So in draft, 100% this is a good card. Will there ever be a Kakamora deck? Maybe. I doubt it, but it would be kind of cool for, you know, Moana fans. But, you know, all in all, it's a really great draft card. I don't think this sees any constructed play at all, though. Like, why would you play this over, like, anything else that you could play? All right, Tigger is back. It's been a while. This is Tigger in the Crow's Nest. He is an inkable 3-cost ruby character card with 0 strength, 4 willpower, and he quests for 1. He has evasive and 1 ability, Swash Your Buckles. Whenever you play an action, this character gets +1 strength and +1 lore this turn. All in all, this is decent. I think if you were going to build a deck that was very action heavy, this might be okay in it. I'm a little torn on it though, because evasive is good, and in the right deck, this could do some work questing wise, but it might not be for a long time. In draft, it's kind of meh, but could be okay just because it's evasive. I'm not sure about this one. My gut says no. My heart says maybe. But, you know, the art is really cute, though, so I guess that's what really matters. All right, he's back. My boy Jim is back, looking like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, because, man, look at all that text. This is Jim Hawkins, Honorable Pirate. He's an inkable 7-cost amber card with 4 strength, 7 willpower, and he quests for 2 lore. He has Bodyguard and 1 ability, Hire a Crew. When you play this character, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal any number of pirate character cards and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. At first, I was confused as to why this was an amber card, since most of the pirates seem to be in steel and ruby, but I think that's actually about to change in this set. It seems like most ink colors are getting pirates, so this automatically becomes fairly good. In draft, this is probably pretty awesome if you can get to 7 ink, and if you manage to draft a lot of pirates, and I'm guessing there's going to be a lot more pirates in this set, so yeah, this could be really, really good in draft. It's just kind of going to have to wait and see. I do really like this card, but it's pretty clear that it only goes in one specific archetypal deck, and it remains to be seen how good pirates will end up being this set. But this is what I like to call a wine card, which means it only gets better as it ages. Every time we get a new pirate printed, this gets a little better. I'm also just happy to see more Treasure Planet, so that's cool. Also, we have to be getting more Atlantis cards this set, right? It's a whole movie about water, and we're in all the water, so how could we not? Anyway, next is another Chip card. This is Chip, Friend Indeed, an inkable 3-cost amber character card with 3 strength, 3 willpower, and he quests for 1 lore. He has 1 ability, Dale's Partner. When you play this character, chosen character gets +1 lore this turn. This is actually pretty good. I do think I'd prefer Donald Duck Musketeer Soldier though, since you get the added bodyguard, even with the 1 less strength. But this is a good card for draft. Though in constructed, I don't think this replaces Donald in aggro decks at all, because it's just not as good. Next is Dale, Friend in Need. He is an inkable 3-cost amber character card with 3 strength, 4 willpower, and he quests for 2 lore. He has 1 ability, Chip's Partner. This character enters play exerted unless you have a character named Chip in play. This isn't very good. I would not play this in draft or constructed, so no thanks. Next is another useful tool for ping decks. This is Gogo Tamago, Darting Dynamo. She's an inkable 2-cost emerald character card with 2 strength and 2 willpower. She quests for 1 lore. She has evasive and 1 ability. She has 1 ability, Stop Whining, Woman Up. When you play this character, you may pay 2 ink to gain lore equal to the damage on chosen opposing characters. This card is okay. I think it goes really well into Emerald Steel ping decks, but whether or not it sees any play or manages to edge out something else remains to be seen. I don't think it's bad though. In draft, this could be very, very good mid to late game, and it's evasive, so Yeah, I don't hate it. It actually seems pretty all right. This could be pretty good. And here we have yet another hero card. This is Hiro Hamada, Team Leader. He is an inkable 4-cost Sapphire character card with 1 strength and 5 willpower. He quests for 1 lore and he has 2 abilities. His first ability is I need to upgrade all of you. Your other inventor characters gain resist 1. His second ability is Shape the Future. Pay 2 ink, look at the top card of your deck, put it on either the top or bottom of your deck. Obviously he goes well in a deck with a lot of inventors and robots, but I'm still not quite sure what the archetype even wants to do. It seems a little all over the place, but maybe as we see more cards it'll become a lot more clear. 2 ink to just look at the top of your deck and do some light filtering seems like a lot, but this is in Sapphire, which can ramp pretty quickly, so maybe it's not too bad. I'm not quite convinced of this one specifically yet, but it could be okay. In draft it might be alright, just because filtering and drawing in draft is just way better than it is in constructed, even though it's also really, really good in constructed. It's just way better because you're limited, right, in draft. But I don't know. I feel like I might prioritize some other things first before I grab this in a draft, to be honest. And finally, we have a very, very good legendary card. This is Yzma, Conniving Chemist. She's an inkable 4-cost amethyst character card with 3 strength, 3 willpower, and she quests for 2. She has 1 ability, Feel the Power. Exert this character. If you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. I like this card a lot. Amethyst is already really good at drawing cards, but this is basically like the opposite of Prince John's Mirror. And this will automatically help you recover from top deck mode if you find yourself in that unfortunate situation. Will it see play in something like Ruby Amethyst though? I really don't know. Maybe as a one-off, but that color combination doesn't have issues drawing cards, so maybe not. This is a must grab in draft though. It is incredibly powerful in draft. So that was all of the cards revealed today. I have to say, there wasn't anything revealed that made me really, really excited, but there's some neat IP and I really love the art direction in the set. I'd love for pirates to actually become a thing at some point, so I'm all for that. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe to the Sorcerer's Hat for more Lorcana videos. I usually post a new video on Friday every week, but this week is an exception, basically just because of the Lorecast. So unless there's some new reveals randomly this week, the next video will be out next Friday. Thanks again for watching. I hope you all have a great day. Bye bye. Love you.